right, today I have with me a special guest. I consider him a special guest. He has a powerful testimony, man, and I wanted him to come on here and share, his experience and his testimony on what just transpired a few days ago, and so I won't be long. I'll go ahead and open up the floor. What's going on, Simon? Is it Simon, right? Is it Simon Nate Handy?
Simeon.
Simeon. I
Yep.
apologize.
No,
Simon.
you good. You good. I'm used to
Okay.
it.
Simeon. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
So where you from, bro?
I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois. That's
Yes,
what's
sir.
so I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna dive straight in about the foundation of your status correction. So what actually before you went on your trip?
Yeah.
Question that I have here for you is what first led you to look into status correction and getting your passport card?
Okay, so I got some cases going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know we connected on one of the Zoom meetings or whatever the case may be, and I was trying to gain some information on what to do because I was always researching. Like we look at the U.S. Constitution,
Yeah.
we see these laws, and then you try to apply them in court, and they looking at you like, yeah, whatever, and just push it out the way.
Yeah.
So I finally came across, a page that, a similar page we both know about. And I was like, okay, this sounds like it makes sense. I had to do some things like correct my status, then I can apply the laws that I see on the Constitution to these little weak cases that I got. So
Yeah.
I can get my freedom, you know what I'm saying? So I knew they was doing illegal stuff in the courtroom, but I just didn't know how to go about it. So I practiced and what I seen, it didn't work. So once I figured out, once I came across this one guy and I looked into it. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this status correction thing and then see if I can get my freedom this way. Cause I'm like, look, I'm on my last leg. I done tried so many other sources, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna find the right one. And then I came across them, and then that's when I connected with you on the Zoom meeting. So then I just went forward from there to try to do all of the correct paperwork and see if it'll work.
Was it a lot of how many paperwork you think off top? You think you fill out a lot of paperwork?
Then I think I got no. I know it was when I filed everything to correct the status. It was 26 pages.
Man.
Yeah, it was 26
Yeah.
pages, and like 20 of them were notarized because some of them were like double pages, whatever the case may be. So I got like 15 or 20 notaries or whatever the case may be with the witnesses and all of that. Had to sign it, in blue ink because that shows the living man, which I found out, which is the reason why they weren't listening to me because they still looking at me as an entity or a corporation or a
Right.
legal fiction. You know what I'm saying? So once I learned about the status correction to gain my freedom as a living man, then my eyes start opening up.
Yeah.
That was my first wake up call right there. Once I did everything, got everything notarized, and he was like, "Nah, you got to sign it like this," and we got to double check. So I'm
Yeah.
googling, like, "Oh, is this?" And Google confirmed, like, "Yeah, you got to
It,
sign the name like this." If you want to really get deep into it, you can take your thumbprint, put the red fingerprint on the signature,
yes,
but
sir.
instead of signing it in cursive, you autograph it in blue ink in English with a specific format. So I
Yes.
was like, all right, I was building more confidence with each step, you know what I'm saying? So I can gain whatever it is I'm trying to reach, which is
Man, that's
freedom ultimately. So yeah.
man, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. My next question is
Yeah.
that when you submitted that DS-11 application, did you send it in with like other documents like the explanatory or what is it, nativity, or you just sent it off with just the application?
So when I went and did my DS-11 form, I went straight to the passport agency
Okay.
because I was trying to get mine the same day. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I had seen you can get it the same day, but you had to go up there with an itinerary. And
Yeah.
yeah, me and my wife was planning a trip to Cancun anyway. So I went up there and got my passport the same day. I didn't even want to wait. So I printed out
Man, bro.
a little itinerary.
Yeah, some people they actually just do it just to get it expedited, but you
Yeah,
actually trip. You actually did went on the trip.
yeah,
That's what's up, bro. And
yes, sir.
that brings me to my next question too. What was going through your mind whenever you was filling this out? Like, did you feel a shift once you knew your status has been corrected? Did you feel something spiritually, or you just was still like a little inquisitive about it?
I was basically trying to get through that passport stage because once I filed everything with
Mm-hmm.
the county recorder and they
Yeah,
accepted all of my documents, you remember I called you that day. They was like, "Yeah, we're gonna," but then they called me right back. They
yeah,
was like, "Oh yeah, you could come. Oh yeah, we approved everything. You can come come in and pay the rest of the money or whatever the case may be."
Yeah,
So
because
once they accepted all of my documents that day, then I knew I was good from a sense of getting everything recorded. So this
yeah,
was really my first step to see if it would actually go into fruition, you know what I'm saying,
mhm,
at the passport agency office. Because we got to fill it out a certain way. So I did all of the steps with the non-address. So the one thing that I remembered to do is what I can't take my state ID up there. So since I'm a veteran, I had a veteran's ID that does not have an address on it.
mhm.
So
Okay.
when cause they ask you what type of ID that you're using. It was driver's license, state ID. I didn't have an international license yet, so I was like, hey, I ain't got time to wait. But I was like, oh, I can use my veterans ID because they had a slot on there for other or military.
Yeah.
I went up there with my veterans ID, so I got my name, but it don't have my address or anything on there, just my name and date of birth.
Okay.
So I
Good.
filled out all of with the way the non-rural delivery, the non-domestic, the non-citizen. I checked off all of the proper channels and put the zip code in what you call it brackets and everything. And then once I submitted it, that was the big thing. I was finna see if they was going to accept it or give me any backlash. And then
Yeah.
the lady looked at the paperwork. She's like, "Okay, cool. Now you got to sign." So I had to sign it, but I almost forgot to put what is that? UCC. Oh, without prejudice. Without
Yeah.
prejudice. UCC. What is it? 301-8.
Yep. One. UCC 1-308.
1-308. So
Yeah.
once I signed it in that format, she didn't stop me. I did the Simeon dash nate colon handy, even on the passport. So once I submitted it, then it was just a waiting game.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like, I wonder what they gonna say, because everybody on there is not a citizen. My mama, my daddy, my wife. I like, hey, ain't none of us citizens.
Yeah.
I filled it out
Fact.
just how they told us to, right?
Fact.
So I didn't have to bring any explanatory statements because I
Great.
had my veterans ID. So once they didn't see I was connected to an address to give them jurisdiction, they had to go with whatever I gave them.
That's what's up.
So
I,
yeah.
yeah.
So yep. And
That's
then
good.
from there it was the waiting game. Yeah.
Well, take me back to Cancun when you were coming back into the states. How did that unfold, and when did you get? When did you get in? I guess engaged with TSA.
Okay. So on the way back, right?
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, I did get 4 stars on my passport.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. First try.
I like to say them stars don't matter, man. But
Yeah.
really find where it derives from is based on where our experiences. Like I just know when you get
Yeah.
4 stars or 5 stars, we know that you on a do not detain list, and it's
Right.
hearing people like you, like myself, and
Yeah.
I know that has explained it to me as well. But I can't really show because they're not gonna show that, bro. Let's think about that.
Right.
No books or no law library.
Yeah.
There's something in their database system that only they know about.
Right. So we on the way back, and I'm looking at I got the lines where you can go through. They got one line where it's U.S. citizen, and then another line is like military, government agencies, or diplomats.
Diplomats, okay.
So I don't know what I'm thinking. Like, I think I should go through this diplomat line. I'm not paying attention fully, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I see it again, and someone's telling me go to the diplomat line because with our 4 stars,
Yeah.
after I research, after everything happened, I researched like, yeah, you got to go through the diplomat line to go through and then you go through the quickest channel to get out up on the other
Yeah.
side.
Yep.
So I go through the U.S. citizen line. I'm like, whole time, I'm like, man, I think I need to go because I'm not a U.S. I just changed my status, right?
Yeah.
So they got the little scan, you know what I'm saying? A facial scan. I
Uh-huh.
walked through it, it didn't read my face. So he was like, do it again. So I sent, and it didn't read my face. He like, you a U.S. citizen? I was like, I don't know. Am I on the wrong line? I didn't know what to say because I didn't
Yeah.
want yes or no. So I was like, I don't think so. Am I on the wrong line? So he's like, no, just go through this line right here. So they got like little sections where you got the whoever the guys are like the different officers, right? So I went through
Yeah.
they opened the doors, like, yeah, come through, gave him my passport. So he tried to do something in the system. He's like, I can't do it here, so we're gonna have to take you to the back. So they took me to CPB immigration, and I ain't never been back there because I was in the military, so I've been all over the world or whatever the case may be, but I never
Yeah.
had to go through that. So I'm looking like I get back there, I'm like, and my wife, she went straight on through because she only got 3 stars on her passport.
Yeah.
So they scan her face when what's going on? She Simeon. I'm like, I'll be all right. Whole time I know I got warrants, right? Because
Yeah.
I was in the process of getting rid of these cases.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the back. I'm like, I need to know what's going on. So I go back there And I'll get back there. It ain't nothing but like Saddam Hussein looking people back there. You know what I'm saying? Middle Eastern, folks,
Yeah.
right? I see the head wraps, the sheets on. I'm like, oh, nah, man. They think I'm a terrorist or something. I don't know what's going on. So I'm waiting. I'm like, hey, I'm in the right spot. He was like, no, you good. You in the right spot. So I'm waiting 10, 15. That's when I start texting. I text you. I text Mook, Kamos. I'm like, man, what's going on, man? So you responded quick. And I'm like, man, thank you. So I'm just sitting here waiting. And they call my name out. And then I'm like, okay, I'll get up and go in the back. So the officer, it was like three of them. And then one of them, he was a sheriff or he wanted to whatever he was doing computer work.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, we gotta take your fingerprints and this, that, and the third. He asked my information. So nothing was popping up, I guess. So he asked for my prints. So I'm like, in the back of my mind, I wanted to say no, but I ain't never been in this type of predicament before. So
Yeah.
I'm back here with the feds. I'm like, hey, what's going on? So, all right, we scanning my prints and all of that. And he handy, right? And I'm looking like, why you keep asking me my name? Like you see the name on my ID, but he wanted me to. He was trying to gain jurisdiction with them questions. You know what I'm saying? Now that I understand,
Noted.
attaching me to the actual entity as opposed to me being my national, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he kept handy. He like, did you change your name or something? And I'm like, my name is my name. And he looking like,
They were
and then
confused.
like the other two officers were standing there. So then they scanned my face and he was like, huh, you had some driving trouble? Then he named some dates. I'm like, man, that was over 15 years ago. Like I was in the military. He named some old stuff. I'm
Wow.
like, that was like over 15 years ago. What are you talking about? And he was
Uh-huh.
like, huh, okay. So that's how he was trying to figure out, like, oh yeah, this the same dude then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they once the prince read or whatever the case may be, then the other officer he was like, that ain't him. Obviously, they had like a super old picture because
Yeah.
that was like almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
And when I was in the military, so then the other guy was like, nah, that's him. That's him. He's older now. So he was like, all right, we're gonna have to detain you. This, that. The other officer like, yeah, we see you have an active warrant, this, then the third. So my first instance was like, I'm not even in your jurisdiction. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not a US citizen. I'm a national. So the white dude, he was a white officer. Yeah, don't try to give me that crap. We're not finna do this. He tried to cut me off. I said, first of all, it ain't gibberish. You already know it's legit because you
Yeah.
cut me off a little bit too quick for you not to act like you don't know what I'm talking about. I said, you
That.
know exactly what I'm talking about because I'm like, why else would he fingerprint me and tell me, did I change my name? So he got quiet, looked at his partner, right? So
Yeah.
they was like, well, we're gonna have to detain you because all we know is you got an active warrant and out of this and out of that, and we just confirmed it. So I was like, all right, whatever, cool. So I got up, let him put his, I got well, they took me out and then he searched me and they took me to this room, right? So they was pretty cool. It was a black dude and a white dude. Black dude was real cool. The white dude was a little, you know how they be.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took me to the room. I had my ID in my sock because I knew I was like, I don't need to have my state ID on me. So I put it in my sock, not knowing he's gonna take off my sock and search it. So he found he's like, this identification. And I'm like, yeah. So he just put it down or whatever the case may be. But they had already took my passport and ran
Yeah.
that identification. So it didn't have no address to it because it's rural, non-rural for delivery, non-domestic, right?
Oh.
So which is why they couldn't find me. But either way it go, they let me that's when I had hit you up. So I'm sitting there. He took my phone. He called my wife. She was just waiting because she knew where we went. And he was like, "What's
Yeah.
his name?" So they bought her. And he's like, "Yeah, you could talk to your wife if she want to take anything. You could take anything." So I was trying to low key get her to take the ID, right?
Yeah.
Black dude, I was like, "Hey man, could she take that ID up out of here?" And he kind of looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, I think you should be able. She could be able to take it, but let me check first." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he was like, then the other white dude came over. Was like, "Nah, we might need that. So let me get that."
They
So I
did
was
it.
like, all right, whatever, whatever. So I'm like, cool. So he went and made a copy of it, whatever the case may be. So they was like, yeah, we waiting on Chicago PD to come get you, police department. So I'm sitting in the room. I'm like, all right. I said, can I use my phone? And he was like, yeah, you can use your phone. So
Yeah.
I came my phone. That's when I was hitting you up, right? And I tried to call you at first, but they had no service back there. But I had enough
Oh, okay.
bars to text you. So you was sending me the voice messages and you was like,
Yep.
do this. You gave him jurisdiction. I'm like, hey, bro, I ain't never been this convicted before. These the feds. These ain't the regular cops. So I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the case is. So I'm sitting there like, man, I'm texting you and you telling me what to say and all of this and all of that. So I'm getting ready to say all of this stuff, right? But they had the door wide open. So after he searched me, sat me down, he one cuffed me to like the bench, right? They had a cuff like right there. So I'm cuffed to the bench. So I'm using my phone. I see another guy look like he was over all of them, came over. He was like, what's going on here? And he was like, because Chicago PD had got there. So he's like, hey, what's going on, man? And then I hear him kind of saying like he's not high risk or whatever the case may be because he has a different status. So I ain't get like the all of the proper terminologies because they was like going back and forth. Like one of them was heated. And he
Yeah.
was like, all I see is a miscellaneous warrant. This has nothing to do with his person or something like that. So he was talking. He it looked like he already knew what was going on, right?
That language.
Right. So he was using that lane. He's like, this is some miscellaneous stuff that's not attached to this specific person or his whatever his status or whatever the case may be. So then one of the Chicago PDs came in there. He's like, yeah, this I got a video camera on. So he's like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. That's when I had already talked to you. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I think they made a mistake or something because I'm not even in this jurisdiction. I'm an American national. You know what I'm saying? They try to tie me as a U.S. citizen, so I don't know what's going on. So he was like, okay, and then he went back out. So one of the black dude, or one of the original Fed officers came in. He's like, yeah, man, I think we might have to release you. So I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there waiting, and then I hear him talking again. He was like, yeah, they concluded. He's like, you want me to double check this? So he's like, I'll double check whatever the case may be. But he's like, we're gonna have to let him go. So he called whoever he was supposed to call, and when he got off the phone, he's like, hey, get him out of there, get him out of them cuffs, and get him out of there. So I was like, oh, that's crazy, right? So dude
Yeah,
came in, he's like, yeah, man, you free to go, man. We can't do
man.
nothing with you. So I'm like, what? This the Fed officer. So I'm like, really? Because I'm in jail. Like, man, I'm gonna have to go to 3, 4 different counties. And I got
Man.
warrants and two. And then they transfer to you each county so you can deal with. Ain't no bond no more. So
So
I'm like, man. So I told my wife, before she left, she looking all crazy. What's going on? She gave me a kiss. Guy. I was like, oh, when you getting out? I said, I don't know, because I'm like to transfer from here. And I'm gonna sit in Chicago PD for 2, 3 days, and they gotta get me. Then they got. I said, I don't know when I'm getting out. So
man,
I gave her
bro.
all my stuff. I'm like, hey, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just sitting there like, man, it's crazy. But when they came in and got me out of there, so I'm talking to the black dude. He took me out the cups. So I like, hey man, I said, what happened when y'all pulled my name up on that system? I said, what was it reading as? And he said it was reading you as a foreign American national. So
Man.
I was like, oh, okay. He's like, that's why we had to fingerprint you, because by your state ID they can recognize you right away because
Yeah.
you made system. But he said it was pulling you as a foreign American national, and we didn't have no information on you. That's why they needed my fingerprints.
That's why they needed that. Yeah.
Bingo, right? Because when you go to jail or whatever the case may be, they fingerprint you, whatever the
Yep.
case may be.
That's what we
So
got next, bro, is getting your fingerprints retracted out of the system, out of the database as well. There's a different
okay,
process of that. You get expunged and all that.
getting that sponge. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need all that back.
I got a blueprint for that, man. You actually answered all the other questions I had for you, man. Because I
Yeah,
want what was running through your head and things, but you pretty much explained it, man. Like what's going on? But at one point, you even got to use your phone, right? When I say you,
yeah.
can you share like let me see the moment you thought where it's like, dang, this stuff don't work, or like when you.
Dog, I think I told you that, man, because I'm like, look, I'm probably military. I go find Camus, like I go find Camus. I'm like, hey, this ain't work, man. Like, what's going on, man? I didn't get you some bread, and we was on like 3, 4 of them Zoom meetings, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, hey man, hey, what's going on, bro? I paid all this money to get
yeah,
this printouts and this all filing all this stuff. And like I was like, man, this ain't even work, man. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm finna do now. I'm about to just I'm gonna go on here and just knock it out, you know what I'm saying? Do what I gotta do. But
yeah.
then he came in when they said they was like, man, we're gonna have to release you. And I'm
That's
like,
man. That
what?
moment crazy. That's I was thinking that. I was like, man, what was going through his head, bro? Because I remember that last text I got, man. This K Moose stuff don't work, bro. I like, oh
Man, I was like, hey, it ain't work for me, man. But then, yeah, he came in and turned the tides, and I asked him those questions. And then he was like, yeah, you came up as a national, and that's why we had to fingerprint you and get a facial scan. Because I was in the military. So in the
oh yeah,
military, they fingerprint you and all of that stuff too. So
yeah.
that's why he had all of that old information from when I was stationed in Georgia, like almost 20 years ago. Cause
Oh
he started
wow.
coming up, yeah. Cause I had a case out there when I was in the military in Hinesville, Georgia, or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be, and it was on post, so they gonna fingerprint you regardless in the
Right.
military. So
Yeah.
that's why he brought up such an old case. I'm like, why is he bringing up this old case? And then
Yeah.
after I got out, I realized I'm like, oh, I got fingerprinted before I joined the military. So
Uh,
whatever they had from that day is from the service, and that's in their system.
wow. So
He was like, yeah,
okay.
bingo. And he ain't had nothing else after that until I fingerprinted myself again. And then the new stuff popped up and it's like, oh, you got a warrant, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. I'm like, and it said for a missed court date. So that's what like blew my mind the most. I was like, oh, so you actually needed my prints to see who I was, even though it registered. He was like, yeah, you was registered as a foreign national. So I was like, oh, okay. So then I remember you telling me you shouldn't have gave him no consent to
Mm,
get your prints or whatever
yep.
the case may be, right? So I
Yep.
asked him, I said, what if I had not consented to my fingerprints and the facial scan? So I said, what would have happened? He's like, I mean, that's your right. You know what I'm saying? Basically, he was like, that's your right, but we would have tried to like scare you into doing it because that's their tactics, like punk you into doing something, making it seem like what you doing ain't wrong. So
Threat,
he was
threat,
straight up
threat,
with me. He's like, say it again.
it's threat, direct, and coercion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like, we were just gonna try to like scare you into doing it because people
Yeah.
don't be confident. Basically, is what he was saying, right?
I see.
So I was like, oh, okay. So I said, so I shouldn't have did that then. He started laughing. He was like, yeah, that could have been a way. You would have got out. You know what I'm saying? Because then we wouldn't have nothing on you. We would just have
At
to
all.
go just based off of what you had gave us. Because we
That
wasn't nothing confirmed until we, you know what I'm saying, until we got your prints or whatever the case may be. And
man.
then lastly, I asked him, I said, so I said, why y'all can't detain me, right? He was like, nah, we can't do nothing with you, which is why we gotta let you go. Because it
Mm,
says in the state of Illinois, we can't detain you.
mm,
He said if it was in another state, they would have brought you here, but we still would have had to release you
they would have had to. Yeah.
if they wanted to get on that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If it's passport, because it depends on the state or whatever they want to do, like whatever. He's like, yeah, the warrant didn't pop up at all, whatever the case may be. We don't know why it popped up after we fingerprinted, but usually when people have warrants, which I knew he was lying kind of, because people leave with warrants out of the country and come back, no problem. But it was
Yeah.
just the fact that I went through the wrong doggone line
Dang.
and then they took me to the back because they didn't know it was like, is he a citizen or not? When I should have went through the diplomatic line.
Lesson
So,
learned. Lesson
man,
learned,
so
bro.
now I know next time when I go somewhere, I'm going right through. I'm a diplomat now. 'Cause I got that immunity.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yep.
yeah.
So my last question is gonna be let's see. Uh looking back, what's the biggest lesson you learned about traveling as an American national versus a US citizen?
Um, they take too many pictures for me for U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
They got that facial scan recognition garbage or whatever the case may be for all of the citizens. So that's like a way of locking in jurisdiction because you in a system.
In a
So
system.
since I'm not in a system and I didn't read, now even when I seen some of the other diplomats going through that line, they just go straight through. They show
Mm-hmm.
the joint and just go straight through. So I know we get extra uh or we got more security with our passport because
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to go through all them extra channels. We can't get searched. I was reading it too. We can't get searched. We don't have to consent to like any sort of detainment, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. Because I
Mm-hmm.
Googled it or Chat GPT'd it after the fact, like, yeah, the full diplomatic unity says you don't have to submit to this or submit to that unless you've injured somebody or you damaged some property and that's on your person. That's the only way they can grab you. Other than that, they can't touch you without your consent.
Yeah.
You
Because
go straight through a whole nother line with no facial scan.
see, man, that's lovely, bro. And that's why it's important to also know your rights too, because I know the Maximus Law talks about that those that don't know their right have none.
Yeah,
So definitely, man, that's something for me, that's what I'm actually making sure before I leave the States or anything, I want to make sure I know my stuff. You know what I mean? Just the basic stuff, the foundation. So
yeah,
my last question, I know this is supposed to be my last question, but this is very important because for those that are watching, I want them
yeah.
encouraged. So it says, so I want to tell you this. So what would you say to someone who's on the fence about correcting their status or thinks the passport stars don't matter or this stuff is fake, whatever? What would you say to a person like that that's don't know what to do?
Hey, go get that status correction. Go get it.
Yeah,
Don't even hesitate. Just go get it. Do whatever you need to do. Cause I was up in there scratching my head like, man, I had to go to work the next day, and I knew I was gonna miss some time, and that just saved me so much time just because they said, "Hey, we cannot detain you, my brother. We have to let
Oh,
you
bro,
go."
that just remind me. You mentioned something on the phone when I spoke with you after you came out of there.
Yeah,
You mentioned something about officer was like, "He's not a threat. He's not a threat," or something
yeah.
like that. They were mentioning that in the back. One of the officers was mentioning that to you.
Yeah, one of the head guys is like, because they, if you a national, they classify you as a threat or a non-threat, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to a U.S. citizen. If you got a warrant, you just got a warrant. So he was like, he's not a threat based off of his status. So he was like, what is this? He missed a court date. Like, we can't
Wow.
take him. We can't do no. We can't take him to jail, or we can't release him to them because of this. He has to be like a threat. So it's a certain threat level that you have to have. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
national, right? Because then
Yeah.
you got the terrorists. You know what I'm saying? It's like what he was like. What is this? Is miscellaneous. You know what I'm saying? Based off of his status. So this is
Yeah.
miscellaneous information that we don't have nothing to do with this. Like I can't do nothing with this. So
Man.
then that's when he was like, "Hey, he's like, you want to double check and confirm?" He's like, "I double check and confirm, but you got to let him go." So then he
Yeah.
got off the phone. He was like, "Hey, get him out of them cuffs and get him out of here."
Get him out of
Man,
there.
he said, "Get him out, bro. Out.
Bro,
I
you,
ain't never in my life got uncuffed that quick in my life."
bro,
They
because
like
you
to
have,
take their time when they set you free.
you see what I'm saying? They say, yeah, right, right. Hey, bro, because you have a actual fee schedule that's been submitted in your public records, right? When you filed your documents and stuff too. So
Yes,
I appreciate you for hopping on this quick Zoom call with me, man,
no
and
problem, bro.
uplift people that are watching this, man. So I appreciate you, bro. And how can they find you if somebody want to have some questions? Facebook or your Instagram account?
Yeah, they can hit me up on Instagram for sure under it's called Life Grooming Solutions.
Okay,
Life Grooming Solutions. So I'm a barber. That's why I got Life Grooming Solutions.
I love it, man. I love it. So
Yes,
you're in
sir.
the area, y'all that are watching this in the Chicago area. Make sure you tap in with Simeon, and he'll get you straight. But
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man. You have a blessed rest of the evening, and we'll be in touch, bro.
Yes, sir. Blessings, brother. Blessings, my
All right.
brother. Yes,
All right.
sir.